May the 4th be with you and happy Star Wars Day. I'm meteorologist Ryan Hill with a look at your forecast, and the pressure gradient force is strong with us if you're liking a warm evening, almost feeling like summer with lots of 50s around because of these gusty winds, gusting 35 even to 40 miles per hour in some of the area. It still remains breezy into tomorrow, but as you can see right here, you've got a frontal boundary rolling through the area. Newcastle leads Spearfish. Note the timestamp, 6 p.m. That seems to be magic time for getting those thunderstorms to fire. I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment, but you'll also notice that tomorrow also is a warm day. But again, that cold frontal boundary is timed just well for the afternoon hours to really cool these temperatures down. Sheridan, Gillette, Ekalaka, you're seeing 60s, maybe some 70s right here in Newcastle, but yet the rest of us in western South Dakota have plenty of time and some southerly winds to keep things warm. Let's take a look at the available potential energy, the convective available potential energy, to see how much juice we get for the storms. Well, that seems to line up near Rapid City and outward for the possibility of storms. See a little pulse up of some better energy here, but this is generally your best area and best timing because here it is. 12:51 p.m. Your front is just off to the west, making its way through northeast Wyoming. So that's something to keep an eye on. The front boundary slowly makes its way. You see, there we are, 5:33 p.m. The front is now in this area right here through Casper, up through Lead, and that's where your thunderstorms are firing. You see these areas where you're clearing up that instability, you're gouging it out. That's why. That's because those storms are using it up. Thunderstorms need moisture in order to build as well as instability. You see that build up through 4 p.m. and that kind of wanes a bit as you start seeing some drier air get funneled in from the northwest out behind that cold front, and that effectively ends that thunderstorm threat. And that's kind of generally where our thunderstorm outlook is, right there in western South Dakota and some, not all, of northeastern Wyoming. So we'll keep an eye on that. Shower activity could be going on overnight near the Bighorns, but yet we really start to see things settle in and develop. We have this feisty thunderstorm developing just around or north of Rapid City. That heads northward along those southerly winds out ahead of this frontal boundary. Then we kick that on through during the evening. And then after that, some pretty decent shower activity. But this storm system, it's complex. It gets kind of stuck up back there in Wyoming. So that's why they're primarily expecting the heavier rain totals, but I would not be surprised to see maybe a quarter, a half an inch isolated dropped out of some of these thunderstorms. Other than that, a large ridge continues to dominate the weather picture through next weekend. And folks, we could be talking about some very warm temperatures. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at Sunday, next Sunday, for some very interesting statistics about our temperature, daily temperatures, because we're also dealing with some drier air, and the sun, as I said yesterday, tends to warm dry air up easily. For now, we're cooling things down as this system kind of sits around, especially in the hills in northeast Wyoming. You see those temperatures drop to the 40s in one area versus the other. There's a little bit of a difference. There's a lag time here in Spearfish and Deadwood because that system kind of is slower to get its influence out of those areas as opposed to Sheridan and Gillette. But that 7-day forecast, just like I'm saying, just like I was saying about those temperatures, 85 by Sunday. The record for that day in the Rapid City area is 87, set back in 1958, so that's something we're going to monitor.